Hello friends, this is Harvey and Dan. Welcome to the Samsung Wave 3 Mega Review. First of all, the lock screen is well done on Bada 2. You have music controls, of course, up here. You have weather information and you have your notifications of missed text messages or calls, but not emails there. The UI itself is very smooth, very fluid. It has a really cool feature, which is this expandable folders where you can just click like that. Folders you can have in the dock or actually on the home panel itself, stretch that way, or in the app drawer. Really cool. All the way over on the left hand side is this live panel, Samsung call it, which you can edit to give you various information. Very easy to add contacts down here which you use most, and that way. Let's have a look at the phone information. Go into about phone. And we can see the version number here of software Bada 2 XXKK5, which is probably the most up-to-date. Maybe there's one newer version of Bada. The memory, Samsung say there's 4 GB of memory on this, but don't forget some of that is used by the system. The total space available is 2.14 GB, and that is 4 apps you want to install. So the total space for your music files, pictures, videos, so on is 1 GB, which isn't very much, but of course you can add a micro SD card, so there shouldn't be any problem with memory. One thing that has always been very easy to do on Bada is changing themes, and it's still very easy, very quick. You just choose a theme and set theme. They have added an annoying agree screen, but it's still very fast and very easy to change themes. Let's have a look at some of the apps that are installed here. Pre-installed is Polaris Office, which is a word suite and a very good Word and Excel editing suite. That's pre-installed. Some of the apps which you can download, for example, the Twitter app is a very competent Twitter client. Should be enough for most people. You can have Tweetcaster, which is slightly more sophisticated, but doesn't seem to work. It worked a couple of times, but now it just crashes. Facebook is much better than it used to be. It now has chat, but the interface is a bit jerky, a bit unpleasant, doesn't seem very optimized yet for this platform, but the functionality is there. Email is very competent. You can set up push mail with a single click very easily and works very well. The music has always been good on Bada, and they've enhanced it slightly with a music recognition, which does seem to work fairly quickly. It doesn't have, the music app doesn't have a lot of social network features, but it does do a job pretty well. The calendar is very solid as well. You can sync the calendar with your Outlook through keys. That works perfectly. You can sync with your Facebook calendar, and I haven't found a way yet to sync with Google. I'm sure if there is a way, someone will tell me how to do that. Now, one of the most important aspects of the phone, of course, is the browser. And the stock browser here is Dolphin, which is much better than it used to be, but still not particularly good, unfortunately. First of all, you have this bottom bar, which you can't hide. It's fairly annoying, takes up some of the screen space. It's fairly fast. It won't win any races, but it's not slow either. It does now have text reflow, but that doesn't work particularly well. Another thing before we look is if you click on a link, open in a new page, it always opens in the foreground rather than the background, which is how I prefer it if I'm reading a newspaper. So we have to go into our tabs, go back to the original page every time we open a new link, which is pretty annoying. If we have a look at the text reflow, we find that it does reflow, but not very well. It's still too small for me anyway to read that comfortably, and anything you do does not seem to reflow it to any bigger size. It is very smooth. There's no problem with checkerboard or lag, and unlike previous Bada version, it doesn't have the dreaded low memory warning, but still doesn't compete with Safari browser or any of the good Android browsers, unfortunately. Let's have a look at the camera, and this has a 5 megapixel camera. Starts very fast. Have a tendency to press the power button, unfortunately, see where it's placed. It has added some new settings like blink detection there, and some new shooting modes such as panorama, which are always welcome. And it takes very decent shots for a 5 megapixel. Also video 720p, pretty good video, and nothing to complain about there. Good solid photography. The video playing has always been a strength on Bada, and it still plays almost any file that you throw at it. It doesn't seem to want to play 1080p files. This is an MOV 1080p. We can see it won't play that, but when you transfer it to the phone, it does ask you if you want to convert it, and it will convert it very quickly to a WMV 720p, which will play very well. And because of the lovely screen, you'll find videos are very watchable, very, very good color reproduction there. GPS works well on the original Wave. It was very good. Unfortunately, they have included a cut down version of Route 66, which is a very, very poor navigation program. On the market, there are better options such as Sigic, which you can have to buy, obviously, but will work a lot better than that. So to sum up, I'm going to tell you 3 good and 3 bad about the new Wave 3. The first good is the smooth UI. Very nice, no lag anywhere, and it looks very good. It's very functional, very intuitive and very easy to use. The second is the multitasking, which now is true multitasking. You can skip between open programs, and that works very well. And if we get some light, I can say the third is the design, which on the wavephone is very good, very long-lasting. It's not going to wear. It's very durable and feels very nice in the hand and in the pocket as well. 3 bad. The average specs, I would have to say, 5 megapixel camera, 720p recording video, 1.4 gigahertz processor, unknown amount of RAM, is not cutting edge specs anymore like the original Wave. It's just average, and there are a lot of other phones around the same price point. For example, the Sony Ericsson Xperia Arc S, which have better specs and would be on top of the list ahead of the Wave, in my opinion. The second bad is the volume button. As I mentioned, it's poorly engineered, it feels cheap, it feels like it's going to break. It spoils the overall effect of the hardware. The third bad has to be the app market. Samsung apps for Bada, if you take away all the themes and the ebooks, are about 3,500, which you can only say is a complete failure after 2 years on the market. Obviously, Samsung have announced they're not continuing with the Bada platform, so that's, it's a moot point how many apps there are. But will they continue support for this phone? It's doubtful. So overall, cool quality, very good. The battery life is fairly average for a smartphone, comparable to Android phones of the same size screen. You would expect to get between a day and 2 days of battery life from this phone. And that is, all in all, the Samsung Wave 3. Thank you.